you actually see me this time. How about that? And so I guess we will have a game after all. The noontime stream got kind of puzzled out because there was no actual Twitch service. I went to stream, I went to look at my screen like over here, and there was nothing, not a blessed thing. It just said offline, offline, offline. We tried for about 10 minutes until I finally looked it up on the interwebs, and there finally was nope, we're all down, no live stream. So there you go. So you get a baseball game tonight. You didn't miss a blessed thing. Didn't start. Dick Ruthven's not happy. He had to wait 7 hours to warm up again. But, you know, Dick, just kind of chill, okay? The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Well, they say at first, if you don't succeed, try again. And this is the fourth time we tried to get this game in on this Canada Day. Hope you all enjoyed your poutine or whatever, or a cold Canadian beverage of your choice, or not anyway. The replay advances on to August 10th. And I gotta tell you, the weather for the game was better this afternoon than it is for this evening. It is a light rain at the Vet. 84 degrees and not really a breath of wind. It is Dick Ruthven looking to go 7-1 since his trade from the Atlanta Braves to the Philadelphia Phillies against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Phillies are in first place by a whopping game and a half. They are at 64-46. This is game number 111 for them. The Pirates are playing game 110, and they will go with Bert Blyleven on the hill this evening. And so finally we got some baseball for you. Dick Ruthven and the Phillies next right here on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1978 tonight, and it really is tonight, from the Vet in Philadelphia. It is the first place in the National League East, Philadelphia Phillies, and the second place team in the National League East, the Pittsburgh Pirates. And tonight's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spreaker or Spotify or iTunes. And, of course, by the Summer of Tokyo, coming soon to Retro Sports Network. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, as Dick Ruthven takes his warm-up tosses for the second time tonight. Ruthven is making his 10th start with the Phillies. Rufus, as he's known, is 6-1 since the trade from Atlanta with a 2.10 ERA. As a member of the Phils, this is his second start against the Pirates. He does have a win, 9 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. His last start was on August 6th, 4 nights ago, against the Pirates in Pittsburgh, where he did all that stuff. So overall, since the trade, 68 2/3 innings, 61 hits, 3 home runs. He allowed 17 so far, 16 earned. He has walked 8 and struck out 38. He is a fastball pitcher in the fly ball, so the ball will carry here. And it is a home run park tonight at the Vet, and his fastball tops out at 85. And here is the lineup that he will face. It'll be Frank Tavares at short, leading off. Manny Sanguillen, a rare start behind the plate, will bat second. Willie Stargell will play first and bat third. How you doing, Mr. Forsberg? Dave Parker of the Cobra cleans up in right. Bill Robinson is at third base, which just kind of shows just how bad things are for Pittsburgh. He will bat fifth. John Milner and left will go sixth. Rennie Sinnett at second will bat 7th. Omar Moreno is in center field. Pirates miss his speed. He'll bat 8th, and Blyleven on the mound will bat 9th. He should go about 130 pitches. Greg Luzinski is a 4 and a 4 in left. Gary Maddox a 10 and a 6 in center. Bake McBride a 9 and an 8 in right. Mike Schmidt playing for the bunt is a 10 at third. Larry Boa is a 10 at short. Ted Sizemore a 7 at second. Richie Hebner is a 6 at first. Dick Ruthven, who you kind of is obscured by Richie Hebner, is a 7 on the mound with a 9.66 fielding percentage. And Bob Boone a 10 and a 5 behind the plate. And so now that we've got you all caught up, let's get this started. Tavares steps in at 269, no homers, 2 triples, and 38 RBI. It's a light rain here at the Vet, 84 degrees and no wind. And the ball game starts with a ground ball to short. Boa to Hebner, 1 out. Brings up Sanguin at 182, a homer and 16 RBI. Mark, if you just joined us, there was a national Twitch outage at lunchtime today, and no one was able to live stream. And so that's why we have the rare Wednesday night stream. Ruthven fires, and there's a pop-up right side. And Hebner's there, 2 out. Looks in the raindrops to make the catch. Here's Stargell at 291, 13 homers and 47 RBI. 2 out. Nobody on. Ruthven from the wind. And there's a little number down to Hebner. He'll underhand it to Ruthven covering, and the Pirates are down in order. We go to the bottom of the first. The Pittsburgh Pirates, nothing. The Philadelphia Phillies coming to bat. I know Mark will ask what the date is. It's August 10th, a Thursday night. Started a 4-game set here at the Vet. And here's the lineup that Bert Blyleven. Well, let's tell you about Blyleven first. He is only 10 and 9 with an ERA of 4.07, making his 24th start of the year. He throws the fastball, does not favor the fly ball or the grounder, and that fastball goes at 90. Against the Phils, he's making his 3rd start. 10 2/3 innings, 15 hits, so the Phillies have hit him well. 11 runs all earned. He has walked 2 and struck out 7. The Phillies have beaten him twice and posted an ERA of 9.28 against him, including his last start, which was one of those doubleheaders. On the 6th, 7 2/3 innings, 10 hits. 6 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5 in the loss. So overall, Blyleven 170 and a third innings, 161 hits, 82 runs, 77 earned, 16 home runs. And remember, he gives up a lot of home runs. He's walked 34 and struck out 128. Now I can give you the lineup. Bake McBride will be in right field. He'll lead off for Philadelphia. Larry Boa at short will bat second. Richie Hebner plays first and bats third. Greg Luzinski cleans up in left. Mike Schmidt, who has hit third most of the year, will bat fifth tonight and play third. Gary Maddox in center bats sixth. Bob Boone, the catcher, will bat seventh. Teddy Sizemore at second will bat eighth. And Dick Ruthven, who got the side on 7 pitches in the top of the inning, will bat ninth. Defensively for Pittsburgh, Milner a 6-1 in left. That's a ramen noodle. Omar Moreno a 7-6 in center. Dave Parker a 10-10 in right. Bill Robinson is a 4 at third. Frank Tavares is a 6 at short. Rennie Stinnett is a 6 at second. Willie Stargell is a 6 at first. Manny Sanguin has a 1 arm. That's not good. And a 4 range. And Blyleven an 8 on the mound with a 981 fielding percentage. Bake McBride at 223, 6 homers and 30 RBI. And the pitch There's a line drive to first. Stargell leaps and makes the catch for the out. So big crowd on hand at the stadium for this one. And we'll show you in a couple innings just where the season standings go for these two teams. Boa, Larry at 313, 3 homers and 38 RBI. Line 11 from the line. There's a liner to second. Stinnett is there. 2 out. Ow, my neck just cracked. Here's Hebner. 280, 10 homers and 46 RBI. Line 11 in the black jersey. Didn't they have pinstripes? I know the Phillies did. Pitch. And there's a fly ball deep to left, but Milner runs over in the corner and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the second here at the vet. The Pirates nothing, the Phillies nothing. So Dave Parker, Bill Robinson, and John Milner to face Ruthven here in the second. Parker, your presumptive National League MVP, at 349, 24 homers and 78 RBI. As I said, game 110 for the Pirates and 111 for the Phils. I thought so. Imagine that. Imagine wearing dark jerseys with yellow pinstripes. Pitch to Parker is a fly ball right center field. McBride is there, 1 out. I remember back in the days when they would scramble stuff on cable, but you could still kind of see things. Kind of worked for certain channels that might have shown certain programs that you weren't supposed to see. For family purposes, we'll talk about channels like Pass or Prism or Nesson, which had ball games and stuff, but had, or Sports Channel, which had ball games that you weren't supposed to see unless you paid the monthly fee for. That's what these Pirate uniforms remind me of, where the colors would all get messed up and you just kind of, Oh, only the white uniform had the pinstripes. Well, never mind then. It still made for a good story. Here's Robinson. Robinson at 259, 5 homers and 58 RBI. The yellow and white pinstripes weren't horrible. How you doing, JT Dutch? If you weren't with us earlier, you didn't miss much. Twitch had an outage at lunchtime today, forcing us deep into the night to get this one in. Pitch to Robinson is a fly ball, shallow center. Maddox comes in, 1 out, or 2 out. Brings up John Milner. 255, 3 homers, and 30 RBI. Anyway, the Pirates are playing in their softball uniforms. There's the pitch to Milner in the left field. Luzinski in the corner, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second inning. There's no score. There was one game, might have been just one weekend in 1979, where the Phillies came out at home in all red, yet the Bumblebee pinstripes, those weren't terrible. I was thinking that the black Pirate uniforms had the pinstripes too, but Mark said they didn't, and so I'll take his word for it. Luzinski at 245, 25 homers and 77 RBI. It was Pete Rose's first year in Philadelphia too. Yep, the Saturday night special, Philadelphia's Phillies uniforms. The color of Greg Luzinski's hat. And Luzinski strikes out. Blyleven got him to swing and miss on a 2-2. Yellow or the white in the pinstripes. And of course the Orioles would play at home sometimes with the orange unis. And I think we had a World Series game when Pittsburgh in black and the Orioles were in orange. And you had to sit and listen to Cosell that night too. Here's Schmidt, Mike at 240. Still a long way from where he should be hitting. 15 homers and 55 RBI. Pitch to Schmidt. Into right center. Moreno will track it down. 2 out. Brings up Maddox. Gary at 285, 9 homers, and 48 RBI. They wore those uniforms against the Braves last year. Which, Philadelphia or Pittsburgh? And yet the black Pirates jerseys did not have pinstripes. The black tops were usually on the road, and the Bumblebees were usually at home. And Mark's right, they also wore that god-awful macaroni and cheese yellow sometimes at home too. I'm going to get yelled at by Lorenzo. Why didn't you stream today? I did. Just was at night. Pitch to Maddox is strike 3. So 1-2, swung on and missed. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third. No score. Oh, Philadelphia wore those. Ugh. Yep, and the gold ones for the Pirates were the alternate. Because really, you need more polyester in your diet. They wore those both at the home and on the road. Okay. So here's a look at the standings. The Phillies by a 1.5 over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has cut the lead from 3.5. The Phillies have lost their last 2. The Pirates have won their last 2. In the West, the Dodgers by 2.5 over a resurgent Reds team. San Diego is 7 back. Houston and San Francisco are 8 back. In the American League West, Kansas City by 1 over Texas, 2.5 over California, and 5.5 over the Twins, who just won't go away. And in the East, the Orioles by a half game over Milwaukee and 2 over New York. Look at the Yankees' run differential. It's 7. That's not going to win you much of anything. And the Yankees 35-20 away from the Bronx, but only 28-29 at home. And the Red Sox are 8.5 and still have a chance. So Stinnett steps in at 229, 4 homers and 38 RBI. Yeah, Toronto kind of did what Toronto was supposed to do. What was ugly was the yellow top with the pinstripe pants. Ugh. Yeah. What is it? Mr. Blackwell? Is that the one that does the best and worst dress list? Pitched to Stinnett. Struck him out. So the first for Ruthven, a 1-2 on the inside corner at 86, and there's 1 out for Omar Moreno. Schmidt and Hebner play for the bunt. Moreno at 266, 5 homers and 32 RBI. And Moreno hits a ground ball base hit left side. Boa dove, but couldn't get there. And that's the first hit for anybody with 1 out in the top of the third. So Bert Blyleven going to bunt here at 088, no homers and 2 RBI. Anyway, I think it's Mr. Blackwell. Well, the Pirates in the late 70s would not be on his best dressed list. Ruthven deals. Blyleven squares. Ruthven picks it up. Throws it to Sizemore. Cover in the bag. 2 out. So 2 2/3 innings for Ruthven. 26 pitches for the first 9 batters. He's allowed a hit and struck a batter out. Tavares is 0 for 1. I didn't even like it when the Red Sox wore those pullovers. Jerseys are meant to have buttons for baseball. You wouldn't want that in football. You get hurt. Pitch to Tavares is a fly ball right field. McBride will make the catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 2.5, the Pirates nothing, the Phillies nothing. So Boone, Sizemore, and Ruthven. Well, they must have sold JT Dutch. You're probably not in the minority in the great Commonwealth of Western Pennsylvania. We're kind of parochial about these things in New England, you know. Boone at 236, 9 homers and 41 RBI. But Mr. Forsberg will tell you the simple elegance of the Old English D in a Tiger uniform and their Detroit in the block print on the road. That's just classic stuff. The Phillies jerseys in the 70s and early 80s had zipper fronts. Yes, that was unique. I'm not sure that would be all that comfortable to play in, would it? Pitch to Boone. There's a ground ball to Robinson. Goes across the way to Stargell. And Boone is retired. 1 out for Sizemore at 218. No homers and 12 RBI. The All Black, I suppose, would look good. Tell you what, I think it looked better than the Cubs' dark or baby blue pinstripe things they wore on the road. Pitch to Sizemore. Ground ball to Stargell. Takes it to the bag himself. 2 out. We said ballpark is playing neutral for hitters. 0 average for the lefties and a 2% boost for the righties. Right, they only wore the English tee at home. But for home run hitters, lefties plus 72% and righties plus 28. The ball should be flying out of here tonight. Yep. I agree that the Red Sox never should have done away with the buttons and the piping along the button path. Absolutely. And the 6 or 7 home jerseys I have illustrate that point. Ruthven's at 200. 5 for 25 with a triple. I always like the fact that the Tigers used to wear, or still wear, the orange D on the hat on the road and the white D at home. Pitch to Ruthven is a ground ball to Robinson over to Stargell, and that will retire the side. Again, no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 4th, and there's no score. So Sanguin, Stargell, and Parker to face Ruthven here in the top of the 4th. Sanguin is 0 for 1. Ruthven from the line. Fly ball left field. Luzinski 1 out. So, God willing, the creek don't rise. We'll be with you tomorrow for Milwaukee and Boston at noon Eastern. 9 Pacific. Willie Stargell's got the bumblebee on in that picture, if you forgot what that looked like. Like I said, that wasn't too bad. Wonder how many stars are on that hat. I love the Pirates hats, the stovepipe hats. Ruthven's pitch, and that's into right. McBride goes back. 2 out. Yes, the Red Sox caps were two-toned in the 70s. They were red with the blue cap, with the blue bill. In one year, I think they wore the opposite, which was horrible on the road. So that's the Red Sox hat I grew up with, was the red with the blue, and they changed it for the 79 season. Dave Parker's 0 for 1. And he sends this one into shallow right. McBride is there, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We got a pitcher's duel here in Philadelphia. The Pirates and Phillies are scoreless in the Delaware Valley. So top of the lineup for the Phils, Bert Blyleven, 29 pitches to 9 batters, 3 innings and 2 strikeouts, and everything else is a bagel. So 9 up and 9 down for the Phillies to start the ball game. The Pirates went away from the bumblebee stripes in '80 and adopted a solid white home jersey, but they still wore the golds as an alternate. Their '80s uniforms looked sharp, and eventually they wore the black hat at home. You look at Barry Bonds' rookie card, when he looked like a toothpick. Pitch to McBride is a ground ball right back to Blyleven. Throw to first, 1 out. So Boa, as everybody else is 0 for 1. Blyleven working from the wind. Kicks and fires, and there's a slow ground ball to Tavares over to first, 2 out. Yeah, that would be kind of cool, Mark, wouldn't it? The angel hat with the halo on the top. You can get them with the C and the A, or the smaller case A, or as we said in the first grade, capital A or little a. So 2 out for Hebner. Blyleven is cruising right through this. Here's the pitch. Richie is hit by the pitch. So there's the first base runner of the ball game for the Phillies. And it's done by a hit by pitch. Here's Luzinski. He's one of the 2 strikeout victims from Blyleven. Bert just kind of shakes his head. Still no wind. Light rain and 80 degrees here in Philadelphia. Throw to first. Hebner back. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball center field. Back goes Moreno, and he'll go to the base of the track to make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors, but a base runner on a hit by pitch. We go to the 5th. No score. And so, just in case you're wondering about what these 2 teams have done against each other, this is the 9th meeting of the year. There'll be 9 more meetings this year. And the Phillies lead the Pirates 6-2. At the Vet, the Phillies have taken 2 of 3, and you watch the doubleheader. You watch the Phillies take 3 of 4. And again, thanks to Mark Forsberg for pointing out that I should find that stuff. Probably to Colby. Blyleven was probably their best starter, but Tekulve saved their bacon on a lot of occasions. He pitched in 92 games in 78. Bill Robinson is 0 for 1. Milner and Stinnett batting here for Pittsburgh. Ruthven's only thrown 44 pitches. Blyleven 38 through 4. And there's a slow roller. Boa in front of the bag over to Hebner for the out. Remember, because I can say this without getting yelled at, that the Pirates swept the Dodgers in their season series 12-0. That's just unheard of. Milner's 0 for 1. Pitch. Into right center, McBride has it for the out, 2 away. So here's Stinnett. Struck out his first time up, the only strikeout victim from Ruthven in the ballgame. I don't get it, because the Dodgers are a good team. They really are. But they could never get over the hump against the Pirates. We joke about Mario Mendoza and all that, but to have a championship caliber team go over against anybody just blows my mind. And it wasn't like the Dodgers were a fluke in 78 either. Pitch to Stinnett. Hit him! So some looks are exchanged as Stinnett gets hit in the ribs. And so cooler heads prevail. 2 out and a runner on for Moreno, who singled his first time up. The lone hit of the ball game. Ruthven from the stretch gets away from Boone, and Stinnett will move up 90 on the wild pitch. So the Pirates finally get a runner in scoring position. Yeah, you know, that's true. They weren't, but at least the Dodgers weren't swept by, say, the Braves. And that'd be harder to do because they played 18 times. But yeah, at least the Pirates were a good ball club. Absolutely. I've never seen anything like it. Even the 88 Dodgers, we've talked about this, went 1-10 against the Mets, who everybody thought was going to win the World Series. But yet, Orel Hershiser was red hot at the right time, and the Dodgers beat him in 7. So a 3-0 count to Moreno. And there's a liner to short. Bo was there, and that will retire the side. We go to the commercial break halfway home. Everybody's loving bagels. Pittsburgh, nothing. Philadelphia, nothing. In what year? Blyleven, well, I'm not going to say it because he's doing some amazing things, but you can see he struck out 2 through 4. Ruthven is only allowed 1 hit. And there's no summary because we haven't had a run yet. The only team in real life to win a season series against the Dodgers in '78 was St. Louis, who were terrible. So Schmidt, like everybody else, is 0 for 1. Struck him out. Blyleven got him on a full count on the inside corner. 1 away. Yep, that's baseball for you indeed. I never would have guessed St. Louis. I could have seen a 9-9 against the Giants or the Reds, but St. Louis? Maddox struck out his first time up. Not going to bunt. Pittsburgh playing for it. That's dirty pull to do that. There's a base hit. So Maddox punches out one in the right center, and the Phillies have their second base runner. And then I'll bring up Bob Boone, who's 0 for 1. True story. The opening game for the Braves at home in '74 was against the Dodgers. It was April 8th, 1974. You know what else happened on April 8th, 1974? Hank Aaron hit .715, so they had a full house in Atlanta. Now remember, in 1975, the Braves only drew $500,000 for the year. Yep, that was Aaron's 715th, and he did that against Downing in the 4th, and 20,000 people left. Maddox will go. Sanguine throws down to Sinet, not in time, so Gary has his 26th steal of the year. So first hit, I'm sure that was grooved. So hit and run is on, no score. Bottom of the 5th. And Big Clue, there was a big Twitch outage at lunchtime today. And you're going to be known anyway. You might as well be known for something good. Downing, of course, a very good pitcher in his own right. Pitch to Boone, runner goes, throw down to third. Gary's out. So the hit and run was on, but Boone didn't swing or didn't make contact. So 2 out. Yeah, Ripken's homer in the last All-Star game. So a ball and a strike and nobody out. Pitch to Boone. There's another base hit. So that really backfires on the Phillies. Billy Buckner was the left fielder. In fact, he climbed that chain link fence they had out at Fulton County and nearly grabbed it. Tom House caught it in the Braves bullpen. I remember that. My earliest baseball memory. I was filling a diaper. So Sizemore 0 for 1. 2 hits for the Phillies here in the 5th. Pitch from Blyleven. And there's a third hit as that one's punched into right center field. Boone will move to third. And the Phillies have runners in the corners and 2 out for Dick Ruthven, who is 0 for 1. Ruthven does have a triple in this replay. In fact, I believe he did it in the last game. So Blyleven trying to collect his wits. Big Clue's earliest baseball memories of the majors are from the '85 season. You were 10. April 8th, '74, I was about 2.5. That's a great set, isn't it? The Topps one with the logos. Pitch to Ruthven. Here's a little number down to Stargell. He'll take it to the bag himself, and the Phillies will leave 2 runners on. We go to the 6th, no runs. Finally, 3 hits for the Phils and no errors. The score after 5, it's the Pirates and Phillies scoreless. So Bert Blyleven will lead off the 6th. He had a sac bunt. Was that the first Dodger loss of the year? Probably. That would make sense. Dodgers, of course, would win the National League. Did they? And I believe they beat the Pirates in the LCS. Pitch to Blyleven is a ground ball to Boa over to first, 1 out. LA was 3-0. Okay. Tavares is 0 for 2. So through 18 batters, Dick Ruthven's thrown a one-hitter. 60 pitches, 5 1/3 innings, and a strikeout. Yes, if you've not heard Vin Scully's call of Henry Aaron's home run, it's on YouTube. And Vin, of course, always did the right thing. He took off the headset, went and poured himself a cup of coffee, and let you, the listener, listen to the fireworks. Tavares into right center field. Maddox is there. 2 out. Brings up Sanguin is 0 for 2. And unlike a certain Atlanta broadcaster, yep, a standing ovation for a black man in the Deep South. And unlike a certain Braves broadcaster, it wasn't scripted. Well, they tried to remember to hold out Aaron. He hit 714 in Cincinnati. And Bowie Kuhn ordered him to play. They were Atlanta, knowing what the response would be, what the gate would be, really tried to not play him the rest of that series. He hit 714 off of Jack Billingham, didn't he? Pitch to Sanguin is a line drive to second. Sizemore is there, and that will retire the side. Yep. Wow, I didn't even look. No runs, no hits, no errors. Another Bengal on the board. We won't even charge a sales tax in Vermont now because you bought 6. We go to the bottom of the inning, no score. Different time and place in 74, integrity and all that. Not much. I mean, Aaron played in the opener. Yes, he 77 he managed a game. And there was, I forget who number 17 was with the Braves, but Turner had the back of the jersey changed from whatever the player's name was, and so it would read Channel 17 because that's eventually was TBS. It was WTCG back then. McBride, Boa, and Hebner to face Blyleven. 18 batters deep, 59 pitches, 3 hits through 5, and 3 strikeouts. Turner had his stirrups on backwards when he managed that game. Turner was a pretty good athlete in his own right. Do you remember why? Pitch to McBride is a base hit into right center field. Parker will pick it up on a hop. And there's nobody out for Boa, who's 0 for 2. McBride, Turner played in Cincy, okay? Big clue, do you remember what Ted Turner's big sports accomplishment was? And no, it wasn't Jane Fonda. McBride goes, the throw down to Tavares, and Bake is safe. Number 18 on the year. Yes! Now, specifically, what did he do sailing? So McBride steals his 18th, 4th hit for the Phils. He won the America's Cup in 1977. Yep, that's what he did. Yep. I'm sure he was a captain of his college team. One of the Ivy League schools. Your guess is as good as mine where he went. Pitch to Boa. There's a base hit left side. McBride will hold at third. And not run on Milner. You're going to strike while the iron's hot. Here's Hebner. He's 0 for 1 and was hit by a pitch. Scratch my face and Bill Robinson's stats pop up on the screen. Turner's from Cincinnati. Really? Where did he go to college? Pitch to Hebner, who's 0 for 1. Line ground ball up the middle, Stinnett. They're going to turn 2 here. Tavares for 1 over to Stargell. Hebner is retired, but McBride will score, and the Phillies go up 1-0. He went to Brown, which would explain why he was pretty familiar with Newport, since Brown is in Providence, Rhode Island. So the Pirates will trade 2 outs for a run. Here's Luzinski. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Yep. So a 1 goes on the board for the Phils. And the bagel streak has been broken. Well, at least for the Phillies. And now Ruthven's throwing a 1-hitter. Blyleven needs this win for his Hall of Fame case. 10-9 with an ERA of just at 4. Pitch to Luzinski is a liner to left. Milner will have it drop in front of him. So Blyleven shakes the head. Here's Schmidt. Mike is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 79 and still raining here. A light rain. 1-0 Phils. The Phillies win would make them 7-2 against the Pirates with 9 games left. Blyleven had some good years. Blyleven pitched forever, and he pitched at a high level for a long time. I'm not sure I'd ever call him a number 1, but certainly no worse than a 2 in his prime. And for some years, he was a number 1. Pitch to Schmidt, and I'll throw to first. Luzinski back. Yeah, number 1 for the Twins, especially in their later run. We were talking about that earlier. You could make an argument for Candelaria. You can make an argument for Blyleven, and I said Tekulve. They don't win without Tekulve. Yeah, I think as a starter, Blyleven was their ace. Pitch to Schmidt. There's a line drive foul, third base side. Somebody from Wilmington, Delaware makes that grab, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. So Luzinski hanging on to first. 1-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the 6th. Struck him out. Burke got him on a 1-2 on the inside corner. So the Phillies get 6 hits in 2 innings, can only get 1 run out of it. This time a run on 3 hits and no errors. After 6, it's the Phillies 1, the Pirates nothing. So Stargell, Parker, and Robinson to face Ruthven here in the 7th. Stargell's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. Into center, Maddox, 1 out. Saw that through the raindrops. Here's Parker, he's 0 for 2. So noontime baseball tomorrow, Milwaukee and Boston from beautiful Fenway Park. Pitch to the Cobra. In the right center, Maddox range is over. 2 out. Ow, my neck just snapped. For Bill Robinson. Then remember, next week we give you 5 games, starting Monday at noon. Taking Friday off this week because it's the wifey's birthday celebration. Pitch to Robinson. Into center, Maddox. And out will retire the Tide. Stretch time. 1-0 Phils. So between 1974 and 1981, no, I take that back, 1982, there was a playoff team from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from the National League East. Remember, in 81 was a split season, and Montreal beat Philadelphia in that first ever NLDS. Blyleven holds the single season record for most home runs allowed. 50. What year did he do that? That's a lot of Gophers. Maddox 1 for 2. He is singled, stolen a base, and struck out. So the year the Twins won the World Series in 87, Blyleven gave up 50 in that ballpark. Wow. Yeah, the ball was wound tighter than me after a 4-pack of Red Bull. Never done that before. My goodness. Pitch to Maddox is a base hit right center field. And so Blyleven continues to get hit. Here's Boone. He's 1 for 2. He's singled. And Maddox, that's how his neck snapped. I would think, JT, that it probably would be unbreakable. How many innings did he throw that particular year? Hit and run is on. Runner goes. Ground ball to third. Robinson over to Stargell for the out. And so Maddox will stand on second. 1 out for Sizemore, who's 1 for 2. 50. Holy smokes. Blyleven from the stretch, and there's a ground ball to short. Tavares over to first. Sizemore's running, and he's safe. So just a little, check swing, and Tavares couldn't get him. So Maddox will stay on second. Sizemore on first. 1 out for Ruthven is going to bunt. Blyleven in 87 threw 267 innings and allowed 50 home runs. Or 271 and 2/3 innings. That's insane. Or in 86. So he did it 2 years in a row? Our stat checkers are checking now. Ruthven squares. He bunts it to Sanguian, throws it to net covering, and the runners move up 90 feet. So 2 out for McBride, who's 1 for 3. Single, scored, and stole a base. Lone run of the ballgame in the 6th. So Blyleven threw 27 batters, 87 pitches, 6 2/3 innings, 8 hits. A run was earned, and he struck out 4. 86 is the record. 50. He only gave up 46 in 87. So imagine that in 2 years allowing 96 home runs. Jose Lima in 2000, so 20 years ago, coughed up 48. Put your head on a swivel for that. Pitch to McBride is a base hit up the middle. Maddox will score. So will Sizemore. And it's 3-0 Philadelphia. Wow. So 3-0, 9 hits for the Phillies. Lima, by the way, did that 48 homers in 196 1/3 innings. Nearly 80 innings pitched less and only 2 home runs different. I suppose you could probably do it. 200 is not unreasonable for a top-flight pitcher. Blyleven pitched for the Twins, I know, in 87. I assume he pitched for the Twins in 86. So that is 2.2 homers allowed in over 9 innings, or per 9 innings. More recently, Bronson Arroyo of the Reds in 2011 gave up 46 in 199 innings. So yeah, I suppose it is possible. Is that the year that Arroyo pitched with the cornrows in his hair? 2 out, McBride on first. Boa's 1 for 3. with a single. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Tavares flips it over to second. Stinnett is there. And that will retire the side. Phillies probably have given Ruthven all the runs they need. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. We go to the 8th. It's 3-0 Philadelphia. So it'll be Milner, Stinnett, and Moreno to face Ruthven here in the 8th. And Milner is 0 for 2. You need a bad fly ball pitcher in a hitter's park who can go late with a crappy bullpen. Sounds like Comerica or Yankee Stadium to me. Probably won't be done. Well, certainly won't be this year because you're only playing 60 games, but hopefully. We'll see. I wonder now, because there will be a universal DH this year, if National League pitchers will go longer. I mean, that's the hope, is to get more out of your starters, especially since you're only going to get about 15 turns anyway. When Blyleven set the record in 86, he surpassed Robin Roberts' record of 46 set in 56. I bet Roberts threw close to 300 innings, though. Pitch to Milner, and there's a fly ball left or right center field. Maddox is there for the first out. Roberts, of course, pitched for the Phillies. And at that point, they were playing at Connie Mack. Rene Stinnett. Rene is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Well, Keith Law will be happy with the sack bunt disappearing. Never understood the hatred of that. Pitch. And there's a pop-up left side. Boa. 2 out. So Mr. Ruthven is cruising right along. It is possible the National League could score more runs per game than the American League for the first time in 50 years. People say they won't watch. I just miss it too much. Omar Moreno, 1 for 2, as singled. 1 hit. He's got the lone hit for the Pirates here. 2 outs, top the 8th. And National League pitchers won't pitch around the 8th spot nearly as often either. Be curious to see how it goes this year. As an American League fan, I'm all for the DH. Clinton Parks is choking on something at his home in Maine. Can't steal if you bunt. I'd hope so. Way too many strikeouts. Especially with the pitchers not batting 9th. Pitch to Moreno is a ground ball to Sizemore in the hole. Throws to Hebner. And that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Philadelphia 3, Pittsburgh 1, or nothing. So Blyleven is probably going to go the distance. He's at 96 pitches. Hebner, Luzinski, and Schmidt to face Burt. Ritchie, 0 for 2, got hit by a pitch. That took away the perfect game. And grounded into a double play. We've talked about the DH before. If they allowed them to hit all the way through, I could see it. But since you don't, National League pitchers don't hit in the minors until they get to Double-A, and then only against other National League teams. You just don't get enough practice. You might have been the best athlete in your high school, but that's just a whole nother kettle of fish. Pitch to Hebner is popped up right side. Stinnett, still raining here, makes the catch, 1 out. Now a rain. Not a light rain. Phillies fans are happy, though. Luzinski's 1 for 3 with a strikeout. That 1 hit was a single. Pitchers spot Tavares and Sanguin do it for the Pirates in the 9th. Yep. Some won't like it, for sure. Like I said the other day, I don't remember an American League game at an American League park without it. It does make for different strategy, the double switch and all that. Pitched from Blyleven. Luzinski pops it up, Sanguin into the screen, foul. So the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Blyleven has struck out 4, and now is 132 on the year. Ball 4. So Luzinski goes to first. Schmidt 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Still really struggling. 78 degrees. There's been no wind this entire game. I wonder how the Japanese leagues did it this year. Because one of the Japanese leagues is the other league in the world to let the pitchers hit. You notice, especially in the late 70s, that American League pitchers would stay in the game longer because you didn't have to pinch hit for them. Yeah, the Central League pitchers has the pitcher's bat. Is that the case this year? Or did that change because of shortened seasons and COVID? Pitch to Schmidt. Here's a fly ball center field. Moreno goes to the track to make the catch. 2 out. For Maddox, who is 2 for 3, singled twice, struck out, stole a base, and scored. And it was fun when I covered the Nationals not to have the DH there, and you certainly appreciated the strategy. Then again, if you're going to have interleague, and that's a whole nother argument, I'd much rather see a universal set of rules. That's just me. Send your cards and letters too. Pitch to Maddox. Struck him out. Blyleven got him looking, and that will be the inning. No runs, no hits, and no errors. The Phillies have ended up stranding 6, by the way. We go to the 9th. It's the Phillies 3, the Pirates nothing. In 1966, Denny McLean allowed 42 homers, 3rd all time at the time. So we go to the 9th. Dick Ruthven, by the way, is tossing a one-hitter. Pitcher's spot, Tavares and Sanguin. And Dale Berra will pinch hit. Berra at 152, no homers and an RBI. Has 6 on the real year. Ruthven, liner to right. McBride, 1 out. Nope, not much of an improvement at all. So 1 out. Ruthven has only faced 27 batters and thrown 88 pitches over 8 1/3 innings. 1 hit and 1 strikeout. Talk about pitch to contact. My goodness. Tavares is 0 for 3. To finish the point on McLean, he won 20 that year in 66 and was an all-star pitcher. But he gave up 42 for the Tigers. Pitch to Tavares. Little ground ball. Boa has to hurry over to Hebner. And there's 2 out. And so everybody arises as 1 for Sanguin. I wonder if they'll pinch hit for him. Manny is 0 for 3. Ruthven just kind of in a groove. He's only thrown 90 pitches. This is his 29th batter. Sanguin. Ground ball to 3rd. Schmidt has to hurry to Hebner, and Sanguin beats it out. And so, really, would you have guessed that Manny Sanguin would break up a one-hitter with an infield single? That's incredible. I'm kind of confused by the predicted results box on the left. Ruthven allows a 260 S6 average to righties. And Sanguin hits 211 against right-handed pitching. I'm sure there are form factors, JT, that are thrown in there too. Thank you, sir. And so I just kind of use it as a guide then. We'll see what Ruthven's form is in a moment, but I imagine that's the case because Stargell hits righties at a 325 clip and Ruthven at 267, but the batting average is 248. Oh, no problem at all. No problem at all. So 2 out, Sanguian on first. Ruthven kind of seething a little bit. Of course, that's what happens when you have a 7-hour delay thanks to television. Here's the pitch, and it's a fly ball to right. McBride is there, and that's the ball game. So Dick Ruthven gets a hearty handshake from Bob Boone and the rest of the infield as he throws a 2-hit shutout. The Phillies, wow, he didn't even have plus stuff. Imagine that. Anyway, Ruthven is our MVP. He goes 9 innings and throws a 2-hitter and struck out 1. What a dick. Bert Blyleven, 9 hits, 8 innings, 3 runs all earned. He walked 1 and struck out 5. So no runs, 2 hits, and no errors for the Pirates. The Phillies, 3 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. I don't know where Parker was in that game. And so, imagine that. Not only throwing the complete game, but only striking out 1. So the lead right now is 2.5. The rest of the day in baseball. We don't need to stall for the Dodgers, do we? The Red Sox beat the Indians 3-1. Dennis Eckersley goes to 11-10. Jim Paxton goes to 10-6. And Jim Rice hits his 38th of the year. He drove in 3. He goes 2 for 4. Milwaukee beats Ron Guidry and the Yankees. So Guidry is 15-5. Thurman Munson, not Herman Munster, hits his 3rd of the year. The Brewers win 3-2. Jerry Augustine with a win. Kansas City beats Baltimore. And Jim Palmer 3-1. Doug Bird, the Word, he goes to 5-3. Herboski with a save. The Blue Jays beat the White Sox. I guess kind of appropriate on Canada Today in real life. 8-6. Garvin goes to 7-9. Wilburwood takes a loss. He goes to 6-11. Gomez 4-4. So wouldn't you know it, on a night where there is no Lorenzo and the Dodgers game isn't listed last, that I tell you the Dodgers beat the Giants 6-5. In 12 innings, Charlie Huff gets the win. He goes to 4-3. Randy Moffett goes to 2-9. Billie Jean goes. Terry Whitfield in the loss, 4 for 6 with a double and 2 stolen bases. And the Dodgers get a game because San Diego beats Cincinnati in 11 innings, 5-4. Raleigh Fingers with a win. He goes to 5-2. Doug Baer takes a loss. He goes to 5-4, and Freddie Gonzalez goes 4 for 5. Last but not least, California 5, Oakland 4. Frank Tanana goes to 12-7. Elias Sosa and you goes to 4-7, and LaRoche will take the loss. So, last game of the week coming up tomorrow, and we will stick with, I think, unless there's something else I want to play there. I hate doing games from San Diego. I don't like that field. So we're going to stick with Milwaukee and Boston because Milwaukee's in first place. Standings in the East, National League East, Philadelphia 2.5 over Pittsburgh. Dodgers lead over the Reds, goes to 3.5. Milwaukee by a half game over Baltimore, 2.5 over New York. And Kansas City by a 1.5 over Texas. That's right. So California, all these divisions are really in flux. Well, that's actually the most. That picture I have of the Murph is actually accurate. It's before it was enclosed, and I think it was pre-84 too. But we shall see. All right, we hopefully will be with you at noon tomorrow for the last one of the week, and it will be the Red Sox and the Brewers. And until then, I'm Ron Juckett. We will talk to you tomorrow afternoon right here on Retro Sports Network. Good night, everybody.